attend to it. Serpent in English or snake, in Hebrew, nachash. People think about something which is like on the floor, on the ground, sometimes around trees, around rocks, and this is this animal, so to speak. But what happens if we look at the word serpent in Hebrew? It is composed of three letters: Nun, Chet, Shin. Nun, Chet, Shin, Nachash. But two of them, yes, Nun, Chet, are for themselves. We can look, we can always open a word and look what is into it in terms of introspective, yes? So Nachash is that composed of three letters. Nun and Chet are two letters. It means comfortable or at ease. And Shin is a sound of like whistling, but the Shin is also composed of four different lines, three verticals and one horizontal. We can take those lines, we can compose the Shin from matches or from sticks, like three sticks, vertical, one horizontal. We can move the sticks, build a square or a rectangle or a closed room, and here we have it. And there's a Nun and Chet. We can write Nun and Chet, which means ease, comfortable, inside. So what is this image of the serpent? Is basically a concept, how we embrace any concept which is or can ease our mind. Some people find it in religion, some people find it in the way of life, in fashion. They feel comfortable in a certain frame, in certain concept. But here comes a warning, this is only a concept. Is this understood? Jill? So this is how we, in a way, when we read about the serpent, this is what the meaning is. Try not to go into this dialogue with concepts. It doesn't matter now if it's, let's say, philosophy, physics, mathematics. There are people who are freaks, mathematic freaks, all kinds of. But this is another concept, and this is what, in a way, the serpent offers Eve, that you shall be like God if you can perceive something, if you can catch something, if you can have a conceptualization of something, you shall be like God. But it's only a concept, because what happens if there's a concept? There's a conceiver of the concept, and there are two. This is the catch. This is basically the ancient serpent mode in all of us. Understand the image of the serpent in Hebrew, Rodrigo? Not also, because we can try to explain it from a different direction, from a different perspective. Good afternoon, Abigail. Happy to see you here. The interesting thing is that we follow the Bible, and then we read in one of the chapters that Joseph is hiding the silver grail in his brother's sack, Benjamin. And the Bible says, what is written there, it says that he notices that there is a missing grail. And why Joseph liked so much this silver grail that was seemingly stolen from him, because with this grail, or through this grail, he can guess what is happening in the world. Are you familiar with this part, with this story of the Bible? I just want to open it. But first, good afternoon, Abigail. But first, let's all of us be on the same page. Are you familiar with the silver grail that Joseph put or hid in his brother? Good morning, Cindy. Happy to see you here. Jill, are you familiar with the story? Would you like to tell the story for us?
I am vaguely familiar with it, so I probably will get it wrong. I remember, but it's very vaguely. I think I've only heard about it once or twice, maybe.
Okay, so let's again return to the topic that we could open. We're speaking now about the silver grail that Joseph put in his brother Benjamin's sack. This is a story for itself. The story is mentioned in Genesis 44. But why do we attend this story? Because previously we were speaking about the notion of a serpent. We were mentioning that a serpent is not just this animal, so to speak, like crawling on the floor, on rocks, and so on trees. It's basically the word serpent in Hebrew means a concept. Is this clear? Before we continue and open this further, do you agree, or is it the first time that you hear that a serpent, a snake, nachash in Hebrew, not just mean like this biological, let's say, crawling animal, but it means a concept. A concept. A serpent, nachash, means a concept. More than, yes, it's also development, yes, but not just as, yes, it's a concept. Yes, Weinreb speaks of the serpent as looking into development, as it has many, I don't know how to say this in English, but the movement of a serpent is like movement of a train, something very long that moves in time, the duration in time. This is, but when we open the word serpent in Hebrew, nachash, there are three letters. Nun chet, which means comfortable, easy, and shin. Yes, the shin is composed of three vertical lines, one horizontal. We can open it. We have basically four lines. We can arrange them as a rectangle or a square or closed room. Yes. And inside we can write the two letters nun and chet, which means comfortable and ease. And it is basically everything that we are having easiness, meaning everything that we can put under a frame of four walls as a concept. It's nice because it's there in this frame. Is it understood before we continue? A serpent. A serpent. When we look into the word, not in English at the moment, in Hebrew, we can divide those three letters into two groups. One of them is Nun Chet, which means comfortable, like Noah, like the name of Noah. Nun Chet, Noah that went into the ark, that built the ark. But as Fernando mentioned last session, Nun Chet is also the hidden wisdom, when Chet is Chokhmah, wisdom, and Nun is hidden. But basically, any kind of a concept. So, the serpent is not just an animal, it's a word that hints for any kind of concept. Any kind of concept can seduce, in a way, us to believe that this is it. Religion, mathematics, philosophy, tennis club, cooking club, whatever. So far, we understood the word nachash as not just an animal, but a symbol of a concept. Is it understood so far? Rodrigo, Abigail, Cindy. Cindy, do you understand? In English, it's also interesting because we write the word serpent. If you rearrange the letters, we got separation. It's the same letters, but in a different. So whenever we believe that a certain concept is the right thing, is the only thing, it's basically a division because there is a concept, whatever the concept is. There is a concept, and there is a one who conceives the concept. So there are two. There's a perceiver of the concept. Is this clear? Jill? Any concept that there is, once there is a concept, there is a perceiver of the concept, and there are two basically. Is it right? Do you
Mm.
understand it?
Yeah, I understand.
Thank you. Here is Abigail. Yes, Abigail. Good afternoon. Can you unmute and speak?
Afternoon, it's your friend.
How do you do, Abigail?
How do you do it?
Yes.
Okay, so actually, I want to ask um question about this. You see, Moses raised the staff and he became a serpent. God told him that those that the serpent has bitten, they should look up to the serpent and they will be healed. Again, in the New Testament, I know you don't really want us to go there, but just a case, like Jesus was tested on the wilderness, and I understand it's the notion of the serpent, testing him for the serpent, and like what was done in the garden of. But he didn't bow to the things that were shown to him. I'm kind of confused. So if the serpent
Okay.
is a concept, how then at a point people will look at it and they will be one they are beaten by, and then another time I'm kind of.
Abigail, excuse me, can you type the question because I did not hear every word. The connection is like, how do you say, transferring one word and one not. So can you type the question?
Oh,
Or Jill, did you understand? Did you hear the whole text, Jill? Is
Yeah,
anyone?
it was kind of going in and out, so I couldn't hear it clearly either.
Okay. Thank you, Abigail, for the
oh,
question. Try to type it because the connection is not stable. Yes? So
okay.
can you hear? Yes, just type it and we shall relate to it. Thank you. Thank you so much. So the serpent is not just the animal, and the seduction or the temptation is always for us to believe that there is a concept that conceives everything. Also, language. Language is also a concept. Yes, people speak, communicate via language through words, but this is also a concept. So, in a way, there is no concept that can conceive life. Because if there's any concept that can conceive life, it means that there are two and there aren't two. So far, so good. Let's continue now to the story of Joseph. Joseph in Egypt, and the brothers already are going to Egypt to find refuge from the famine, and they are in a way returning to the land of Canaan. Benjamin is with them, and Joseph is sending them with goods home towards the land of Canaan, but he hides in the present tense a silver, a silver grail in Benjamin's sack. Benjamin does not know, nobody of the brothers have a notion that there is a silver grail which is put in one of their sacks. Are you familiar with this story, Rodrigo, Cindy, Abigail, with the silver grail? Yes. Thank you for writing, Abigail. We shall relate to the question.
Mm.
We shall relate to it. At the moment, yes, later, but at the moment we're speaking about the silver grail. So Joseph put the silver grail in Benjamin's sack. Nobody knows. He declares that somebody has taken it, and he searches in their sacks and find the silver grail. But in the Hebrew Bible, there is one verse that says that this is a very special grail for Joseph because he can guess in it or through it. Are you familiar with the story or not? Or it's the first time you hear about the story, Cindy, Rodrigo, Jill, Abigail? So the Bible says, with this, Joseph can guess or have any kind of conception. And the Hebrew says, Yenachesh. Yenachesh from Nachash. He will guess. He will guess, have a configuration, have a concept through the grail. Is that understood? Yes or no? Yes. So now this is the question. What is the relation between the grail, guessing, and a snake? What is the temptation that the grail holds? Was, and this is an open question. Was Joseph looking into a grail and try to conceive, try to understand what is happening in the world? What is happening here? Abigail, can you mute the sound, please? Can you mute the sound, the microphone? Thank you. Joseph wanted to catch Benjamin. Yes, he wanted to catch Benjamin, but why via this silver grail? It's okay, Abigail. Why via this silver grail? What does a grail usually hold in itself? Think about the grail as a cup. What does a cup or a grail holds in them? It's a vessel to contain something, or wine or water. If it's a cup, it's a tea. Yes, this is a vessel that can contain something, a liquid. Yes, it's also vessels, also not just for liquids. Concept, and here we move again to the book of Genesis. Concept is also a vessel. Yes, concept is also a vessel. So, in other words, the grail is a concept. What was Joseph trying to do? Yes, Cindy? Can we say that the concepts hold something for life as, yes, in the cup holds water to sustain? Yes, yes, this is it. This is it. Yes. They try? Yes, yes. They try to perceive, to contain life in a system as a concept. Yes, all theories, religions try to conceive life. But if there's a concept, yes, they try to conceive life, it means that there are two, the concept and what it contains inside. Have you heard about this story? And this is happening in which part? Where are they staying? Where are they staying when Joseph puts the grail in Benjamin's sack? Where are they? In Egypt. Yes, in the world of duality, there are concepts. And a concept can conceive in the world of duality. In Egypt, this is happening. So, do you see through the Bible what is happening? In the world of Egypt, there are concepts, there are philosophy, different branches of sciences. In Egypt, questions so far? I wonder, Cindy writes, I wonder how much is okay to take of the concept. We don't take anything. We are incapable of taking anything. It's not possible to take anything. Everything is happening in the thought is just, in a way, an exercise. Because how can we say, what is a school? Let's say the concept of school, it's a concept school. What is the school? Yes. What? Let's say take a school. A school is a concept. Yes, there's a building somewhere, there's an address that says school. So what is the school? The fence around it, the parking lot in front of it, the gate, the gatekeeper is a school, the garden around it, the entry, the classes are school, the teachers, the children that come at 8 until 1, 2, 3, depends on their plan. What is school? Or schooling. What is school? It's a concept. Where does the school start and where does it end? Does school starts at 8 and ends at 1, 2, 3? Or school also exists in weekends when the children are at vacation or resting in weekends rest. There's also school. It's a concept. Everything is a concept. What cause people or us suffering? Yes. What cause us suffering is that we attach ourselves to concept. This is what caused the suffering. We hold to something which is not right or just temporary there. There's a concept. There's only a concept. Family is also a concept. It's a concept. We do not like to relate to it as such, but it is a concept. Sky is a concept. Heaven is a concept. Where is the sky? When children make first, they start drawing in kindergarten or so, yes, They make like blue skies and clouds. And where is the cloud? Yes? There's everything is justice. Justice is a concept. Where can you find justice? Where can you find justice? There's an address of justice. According to whom? According to what justice is. Where is justice? Where does he live? He has an address. What is justice? Children say it's not fair. It is not just children, also all of us. It's not fair. It should have been different. Yes or no? But what is justice? What is right? What is fair? Because if people declare that they know what is right, what is fair, there is a frame. Again, what is a frame of reference? There is a concept. What is the concept? Snake, serpent. The same letters, serpent, separation, the same letters in different order. There's kind of concept that offers us that we can perceive something, we can catch something. If there's something, there's object, subject, there are two. And this is the temptation. This is the temptation of the serpent. To always send us, to offer us different concepts that we shall adapt or catch or will bridge, give us a way somewhere. But this is only a concept. Is this understood? What is the word for separation? Perud. 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 Paradise, yes. Perud. Yes. And it holds the three letters of Pardes. Paradiso, Paradiso, Paradise. Pardes. Pardes is orchard. Paradise, Pardes. Yes? Any concept offers us separation. This is what it does because it means that too. Let's take any kind of religion or school. It just offers us two. It just offers us division. And the English, this is interesting thing because the English Bible translate the verse of when Joseph offered the brothers that, where is this, ask them, where is this grail? He says, in this vessel, Joseph is what? Deviation, meaning he's guessing through it. He can see through, he's like catching concepts through this grail. Deviation. This is what divides. Because, in a way, there's another way to look at it. Grail has the same value as a word. This is 85. Yes? So, the grail is like a word. Also, a word can catch something, can offer something. A word is also a vessel. And let's say there's a language and people speaking words, but people are coming from different languages. They cannot catch the language. They cannot catch the concept. So in a way, language, what does do language? Separates. It's a concept. Suffering comes from attaching ourselves to concepts. Yes. Can you unmute and speak about it, Cindy? It's okay. It's okay. Another perspective of this silver grail. Silver as opposed to gold. Yes, silver as opposed to gold. Let's say if we look at mirror, what makes the mirror mirror? There's a silver foil or color behind it. Therefore, it can reflect. Silver is reflective. In the same manner, the silver grail. Yes? לזה אשר ינחש בו, it can guess. Yes? The vessel or the concept is just mild guessing. In English we say guess. In Hebrew, לנחש. לנחש comes from nachash. Guess. In English it's like might be that, might be that. So to speak two ways or maybe more. In Hebrew, guess, lenachesh, comes from serpent, nachash. So silver mirror is just guessing of what is there. It means if there's a mirror or reflection, it means that there are two. Please pay attention to those things. And all of this happening where? In Egypt. Yes, Cindy's writing, I was thinking about that verse. The word is held in a bowl of silver, also like the grail holding water for life. I don't understand the question. Is that what the verse says? Setting of silver means a bowl. I don't know. I don't know. Any question that you would like to ask?
I have a question.
Yes.
So everything, it sounds like everything is a concept. For people who like don't say they don't know this or don't understand this, and they're trapped inside of something, how do they begin to dismantle and get free from it? Is it just um, come to terms with their thoughts, or how would they get free from that?
Yes, it's simple. We are not the one who are thinking of, or we are not the thinkers of the concepts. It's not me, so to speak, because also there's me is a construct for itself. There's just thinking is happening, but we're not the thinkers. Yes, there's drinking happening, but we are not the drinkers. What is the brain is always offering us that we are the doers, we are the thinkers, we are the one who perceives ideas, but it's not so. There's only being, and around this being there's a constant mental process which is produced by the brain, which is also a body in space and time. And this brain produces, and we are tempted to believe that we are the producers. No, this is mental or mechanical process, but we are not the makers or the producers of it. It just happens. This is it. Suffering comes only from attaching ourselves to all kinds of concepts. And we also relate to ourselves as like statues, like objects, or the notion of my life. People, there is a beautiful good morning, Fernando. There is a song of Billy Joel. I don't care what you say, and he says there's a dialogue between friends, and he says I don't care what you say. This is my life. This is a song by Billy Joel, and this is a very famous line. This is my life, and there isn't such my life. There isn't such my life. We tend to think in terms of this is my life, this is my house, this is my school. There isn't such. What is it? Let's open it. People speak like this. What is it, this term, my life? What is it? What, the air? Inhaling, exhaling, the sea that we can, let's see from the window. What is it, my life? The tree, the ant, the bird, the rain, the sun, the stars, the school, the book, the glass. What is this? Open it. People speak. This is my life. This is how people speak. I don't invent it. What is it? Open it. What is it, my life? What does it, and what is happening inside? People say this is my life. Yes, this is how people speak, but what is it? What? Nothing. There isn't such a, it's only a concept. Good morning, Fernando. We were expanding on the serpent. Nachash, yes, that you mentioned in a previous conversation. So we were opening this, that the serpent is not just a serpent, but Nachash represents any kinds of a concept. Yes, Nachash is representing any kind of concept that can suggest us that it can conceive life. This is the temptation. Most welcome. This is a temptation all the time, that if only I hook myself, this is how people think. This is the serpent. If only I will go to Buddhist studies, if only I will enter the chapel, my life will be excellent. If only I go and climb this mountain, if only I go hook myself onto retreat, if only I sit on the cushion for 10 hours meditation, I get I get my life sorted, or fixed, or attain, or obtain, or contain. Bullshit. Because it's, what does it offer us? That there's two, me and my life? Of course not. And also we were mentioning, Fernando, the silver grail, that Joseph was putting the silver grail into Benjamin's sack. And he says that this grail is missing. I'm guessing in it. So the Hebrew says yenachesh, guessing, comes from nachash. But what is guessing? It's basically a vessel. It's basically a concept. And this is happening where concepts are happening where? In Egypt. Or in the world of duality, concepts are, let's say, taking a great part. Let's say, also mathematics is a concept. Physics is a concept. Biology is a concept. It is. Language is a concept. Everything is a concept. The more we attach ourselves to those concepts, the more suffering in a way comes. Yes, yes, yes. And God is them. They're playing God. Yes. and God is mad because they are mad. That life does not follow the rules. Yes, it's funny. God is not a substance. Yes, God is not a substance, and there's no entity. God, the word God for itself is a concept. If we want to go into it, the word God for itself is a concept. Because let's go into it. There are these certain attributes, let's say. God is merciful. What happens after the golden calf? Yes, Moses is asking forgiveness. Da, 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 da. And Moses says there's certain attributes. El Rachum v'Chanun, God, which is merciful. Da, 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 da. Certain attributes. Now, let's look into it. And if, let's say, let's go into according to this school. If God, or one of the titles of God, is merciful, let's suppose, let's follow this. What does it apply? What does it suggest? Again, have you heard the word merciful before? Have you heard the word merciful? Yes. So, what does this word suggest? If there's, yes, would you like to speak about that?
I was just thinking that it that somebody needs his mercy, or somebody
Yeah,
needs something
excellent,
from him.
excellent, excellent, excellent. So very well. Yes, God is merciful. Ta, 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 ta. So let's say there's one who's merciful, and there's another one that needs His mercy. So it means that there are two, and we are speaking of non-duality. So all those attributes, let's look into it very carefully. What all of those attributes are applying to. See, if you read this very, very carefully, merciful, ta 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 ta, and it continues. El Rachum Bechanun. Yes, no. Notzer chesed la'alafim, cherish his grace for thousands, ta 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 ta. What does it hint or apply? That there is one that has, yes, master of love, of mercy, and he mercies everybody's else. Yes? So it what? It means that there are two. Uh-oh. Oh. Also, God is omnipotent. Yes? Let's go into it. Yes, Fernando, good morning.
Shabbat Shalom, Eti, Jill,
Shabbat Shalom.
Rodrigo, Cindy. So good to listen to you, and I'm Gail. Eti, I just have a question, man,
Yes.
and I'm delighted to listen really, really deeply, because I was thinking about this subject just yesterday and today, so I'm quite thrilled to listen. And I just have one question.
Yes.
It is difficult to put it, but it's like how I don't know is the verb, but I agree that sometimes God is a concept, and this is what God is not. Let's say, uh, I the the quality that could express somehow what God is love, maybe, you know, because in a love relationship, two become one. You know, it is not an abstraction. It is not an idea. It is a relationship. I don't know if it makes sense, this observation. but just to add this idea, because we can fall in the other part of this layer, that is just to put an abstract idea of God as well, like God is nothingness, and it can become too abstract, and becoming too abstract, it becomes superficial as well. So I think that the love of God, and with the careful to not enter in this conceptualization, could approach a little bit, but even not approach at all at the same time. So I was just struggling with these ideas, and if you could put some light on it, I would be grateful.
Thank you. Question. Let's say there's a tree. Is a tree an expression of love? This is the question. People just, we take everything for granted. Trees, stars, tree in a hot day gives us shade. Sometimes the trees also giving us fruit during the months of the year. God is not an entity. When they say that God is omnipotent, yes, there is a referral to God as an entity, that He is capable of, but it's nothing. It's just beautiful how the human mind or brain, depends on how we look at it. We cannot have a grasp. And instead of admitting, okay, what there is, we're trying all the time, and this is the serpent, the duality, all the time suggests concept. Something that can hold the water, the river that comes from, yes, that are coming from the Eden, so to speak, from the infinite. What is Eden? And the river goes out of Eden. What is Eden? Infinite. And the river goes out of Eden. This is a river of life. And it spread to 4 heads or so. But the mind has a struggle. Always try to lock, to frame it, because it says, it is written in the words of the Bible. And the river goes out of Eden, and it will become, or becomes, to 4 heads. Is basically the frame of time, the concept or the duration or the metrics of time. And here comes also the serpent. I can catch it. We can't. But all the time, for a while, there is a concept. We go to yoga lessons, we participate in this and that. But those are just concepts. Just concepts. But again, we are not the one who are, let's say, embracing those concepts. Those concepts are moving through us. And Jill asked, yes, how can we just drop it? We cannot hold anything. We cannot hold. If we look, self-inquiry, look what is happening through us while we think. There is a thought which is coming, appearing, and immediately there's another thought. Sometimes the thought is going also through action. There's a thought, we're drinking coffee, and we go and take a cup of coffee, but sometimes there's just thoughts, moving, yes, through us. We did not generate them, they're just moving. But we are not the thinkers. We are not. Thoughts which are appearing inside of us is like the waves of the ocean. Sometimes there's a wind, there's like thoughts and so on. It's just appearance. Thought is just appearance. Can we remember, or can we detect, not remember, just detect a thought that we had, let's say, 45 minutes ago? What was each and every one of us was thinking 45 minutes? I don't know. Everything is just, it's just life is like a river. And it just all the time there's a flow and there's a movement. Yes. And the brain is like a dog also. Yes. It tries that to catch this moving water. But it always moves, and there is no concept. There is no concept that can conceive life. There isn't. So each and every one of us, or people are being born, not that they are being born, that there's appearance of a body of a baby, which is happen to appear in this tradition or that tradition or this frame of thinking, so they will be baptized or blessed or wherever they're appearing. Yes, but those are only concepts. Those are only concepts. And it doesn't mean that if someone is born or appears in a Buddhist tradition, he will have X life, and the one who will be born in North Europe will have different kind of upbringing or so. So those are only concepts. This is it. It's just so relieving, because all of what we are reading, thinking, those are just concepts. They try to conceive time, try to conceive life, try to tell us about life. It's about life. If you read many Latin texts or in Greek, yes, they start, the chapter starts about this, about that, and comes a paragraph in Latin or in Greek. Yes, if you read ancient text. This is how it goes. About this, about that, and then comes a paragraph or a topic. But it's about. Yes, Fernando?
No, it is interesting. It just came to my mind that is about the exiles of the soul, you know, and this is the exile of the Greek, let's say, because they had like this philosophy that we had just a few part recovery yet, but it's about that, you know. The discourse and all the concepts were quite widely discussed, and in tradition we can think that this is the exile of the soul. And I was wondering it that so the living God is the living life, the living life.
Life.
It's not about a concept. It's not about explaining something. It's about living.
Yes, it is about living life. It has nothing to do with God. This is about living life. Yes, is God angry about me or not? This is stupid. It's just about living life. And in living life, there are different moments and appearances. There is love and there is affection, and there's somebody says something, a word, and moving in rage in the corridor, and there's like dog is barking and the bird is singing, and there's a wave in the ocean and people playing ball and the cat is meowing. This is living life. All the rest is just concepts. This is the great message. Yes, Cindy. Mute and speak. Hope that you will find the mute button. Meanwhile, Jill, do you have a question? Abigail, Fernando, Rodrigo? Okay, you can ask a question. Any yes. So those sessions or conversations, what yes, what is happening is all the time is just drop the concept. We're just dropping the concept of understanding, of having, all those things that make us like feel that we are carrying a load of a building on our back. We're not carrying anything. There's nothing to carry. There's nothing to suffer. There is no concept. There's just breathing. This life living. And there is no punishment. There is no how do you say punishment or reward. There isn't. Those are concepts of duality. This is it. It is quite relieving, the message, because there's nothing to hold on. Everything is just, it comes in the moment like the air. The seasons, they bring the fruit, the fashion, the way of life, the way people speak to each other, and nobody's in charge. This is how consciousness, this is what life is.
Eddie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can finally, Cindy. How do
Oh,
you do?
good, good. Um, I had a cute story to tell if and maybe can relate it to kind of what we're talking about. Um, so teaching my younger son about money sort of and just um not and understanding how we, pay money to get things. And so he wanted to go get some toys, some little cars, and so I got some of my money and put it in his little wallet and said, "Okay, here's your money, Sammy, and so you wanna go get these cars, and let's take your money out and go get what you want." And he became so upset about the money that I had just given him once it got into his wallet, he didn't wanna take it back out, and it just made me think about, the the sacrifices that we've talked about, the coming closer, the understanding, um, that we don't own anything. Even what we have was first given, and it just hit me kind of in a new way that I have my own little wallets in life, these constructs, these concepts, and I have to keep, but yet I never produced it in the first place, and hope that makes sense, but I thought it was a cute
It's
example.
a great it's a great example. Beautiful. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. Nothing is ours. Nothing. Nothing.
My kids
Yeah.
teach me so much. They're the greatest teachers because I see myself through them.
It's a great thing. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much. And I would like to thank each and every one of you for the participation today. Wishing you great season, wonderful spring or autumn, wherever you like, or any season or in equator when everything is even. Good life and life is to live. And thank you so much, Tunda and Shalom.